FIFA put out their best men's 11, the best men's world 11. Alphonso Davies on that. Huge accolades for the Canadians, first North American to be named to that team. We'll get to the women in just a moment. But you know, we also love to just kind of point fingers and say, who's missing? Did somebody get snubbed? Gareth, is there somebody who should have been in this starting 11?
Well, other than the fact that Manuel Neuer won the best goalkeeper in the world and wasn't part of the World 11, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go in another direction because there was one player that stood out for me. I don't think he should have been part of the 11, and that was Thiago in one of the midfield positions. Look, he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich, and he was wonderful over that campaign. In the 5 games in 2020 in the Champions League, he was excellent, but he only played 10 league matches in 2020 for Bayern Munich. He was out through injury, and he's only played twice for Liverpool thus far as well. I would put in Bruno Fernandez. I just think that he's completely underrated. 23 goals and 14 assists in 41 games for Manchester United in 2020. Those are ridiculous numbers. I don't think he's part of that list because his team didn't win anything, and obviously that will hold him back. And other than Bruno Fernandez being in the 11, I also think that Erling Haaland should be in the 11. 33 goals in 32 games for Borussia Dortmund. I would have taken out Lionel Messi, but that take might be a little bit too hot, a little bit too spicy for the football world to acknowledge.
Well, you know, I did see on social media when these World 11s came out that a lot of people felt some of it was a little bit of a popularity contest, and the chorus was very loud when it came to the women's World 11. So let's go to that. No Canadians on that, Ollie. Anyone in particular you felt was snubbed?
Yeah, I actually thought the men's 11 was about right. The women's one, not so much. And I think it maybe speaks to, you know, at the end of the day, this is voted on by players. It's not media or anything like that you can kind of accuse of ignorance or not caring about the women's game. I just think it speaks to maybe the lack of exposure between different leagues. You know, maybe if you're in North America, you're not as aware of European women's soccer as you are maybe on the men's side. And obviously the TV rights and things like that have a lot to do with it. I thought the biggest omission was Jennifer Marazzan, probably the best midfielder in the world right now, voted the best midfielder in the Champions League last season for that dominant Lyon team. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about Megan Rapinoe making the team, despite not playing since March. To her credit, she has said herself that she was surprised by that. I thought even more surprising was the fact that Carly Lloyd was 4th and just missed out on being in this team and was ahead of a player like Marazzan. Like Lloyd, for me, again, hasn't played since March, and she's not the same player that she was in 2015. So there was just some choices there where the big names were clearly elevated above where they should have been. And as I say, I think that probably speaks to maybe just the lack of exposure between different countries and different leagues that currently exist in the women's game.
Christine Sinclair, though, was honored for becoming the all-time goal scorer in soccer. We saw Lucy Bronze take home the best women in soccer, and it was Robert Lewandowski who was named the best men's soccer player by FIFA, and he was actually pegged. A lot of people believed he was going to win Ballon d'Or, but of course they ended up canceling that given how crazy the schedule was due to the pandemic. But when we're seeing guys like him doing what they're doing and other players right now being named and coming up, you know, Gareth, you say they should have been in the 11. Are we seeing days gone by now of Messi and Ronaldo winning best of? Like, has their time passed?
I think so. I think that we're coming to an end. I think that one of Ronaldo or Messi will win one more of these World Best Player of the Year. But after that, I don't think you'll see both of them win. You know, Father Time always wins. Father Time is undefeated. And these two players, I think Lionel Messi's taken a step back. Ronaldo hasn't as much. I'm looking ahead to 2021. If Portugal comes forward and plays very well, perhaps wins the European Championship this summer, perhaps Cristiano Ronaldo is in a position where he can claim that he's the world's best yet again. I just look at the likes of Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, if he moves to Real Madrid, gets out of PSG. I think that there's just so much young talent that's upcoming right now that's going to kind of knock them off their perch. And look, this era of dominance has been extraordinarily special and unique about how dominant Ronaldo and Messi have been. But I think it's just about time to welcome in the new breed.
Yeah, I agree. It will be more open, and Mbappe and Haaland and players like that will certainly compete. But if you offered me Messi and Ronaldo versus the field next year, I'm still taking Messi and Ronaldo. Like you've
Really?
got to put into context that Messi has just had probably the worst year of his career. Like everything that could go wrong pretty much did, and he still finished third in the voting for the World Player of the Year. Cristiano Ronaldo had a much better year individually, but his team wasn't really relevant in the Champions League last year, which is the big competition everyone looks at, and he still finished second. So I kind of compare this to tennis. Everyone's been saying for years that Djokovic and Federer and Nadal, their era is over and the next generation is coming through, and it never quite happens. And I think it'll be a lot longer with Messi and Ronaldo than people think before they're really replaced as well.